Hi, this is Ernie, and today here on the farm, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about the realities of homesteading and who can actually participate. And I'm thinking you're going to be surprised when you find out that it's definitely you. Hi, everybody. So, here on the farm this year, we had a lot of things come in as far as crops and poultry. We have vegetables and meat and things preserved for this winter, and we're very happy with where we are. But the realities about this are that it was very difficult. There are a lot of channels on YouTube that you can watch where people are homesteading, and you don't get a good example of what is actually involved. Some of them have machines that lighten the load of the work quite substantially, and those machines aren't always cheap. Some people who are doing this and showing other people how to do it have been very fortunate in where they've been able to source their land or the machinery that they're using. And you should know that if you're going to do this, coming across land at an affordable price is not always going to be easy. Some people can have it given to them by friends or family, and other people don't. If you find yourself in this situation, you know it's going to be difficult trying to learn what you can do with what you have. But that brings us to the next reality. Aside from it being very difficult, you will get in over your head with some sort of project, whether it's too many projects at once or it is a bigger project than you anticipate getting into. You are going to end up getting in over your head somewhere, and it is going to be difficult to get out. The best advice I can give you for this is to try and plan and over prepare. Whatever you think you need to do to prepare for something, you may need to do more. And I would start with a simple piece of advice. If you're going to get an animal, if you're going to get chickens, or if you want to raise pigs or goats or something of that nature, there isn't something realistic about the idea that you're going to pick them up and then, you know, kind of build what you need as you go and learn what you can't do that. If you're going to raise an animal or keep an animal, you're going to have the infrastructure in place ahead of time. You're going to have an idea of where the feed is going to come from. You're going to need to know what you're going to do with the animal waste and what you're going to need to do when you clean it up. How often is that going to happen? How much time will it take when it has to happen? And how are you going to integrate that job with all of the other jobs that you already have? It's not a hobby. It is not the sort of thing that you just kind of half do. If you're in a situation where you can't dedicate full time to doing it, it is very difficult. You can work a job and do it, but you won't sleep often, and eventually you will want to make that changeover from working a 9 to 5 where you clock in every day and split time with your homestead to a point where you step into that role completely and you homestead. It's not something to be taken lightly. There will be always more work to be done, and there is always going to be something you didn't anticipate. That being said, it is very rewarding. It is, for all the sleep I don't get, for all of the work we put in, for all of the long weeks and late nights and, you know, just one more hour till we're done with this task. It is very rewarding. We never have to worry about that. We know where it comes from. We know what went into it. It wasn't expensive. What it cost us was time and effort. But it lowers the grocery bills. And that's where we're going to get to our next point of discussion today. And what is the next point of discussion today? That is, who can do this? Who can participate? Can live the homesteading lifestyle. And I want you to know, absolutely everybody, there is no gate to be kept on this. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do this because you don't own X or you don't live in Y or whatever. The first part of this video was for those people who have resources and for those people who have access to more resources. And it was more of a warning of be careful, you can really step in it. You can really set yourself up to have more work than you can handle, but it is very rewarding and worth the effort that it does require. But for those people who don't have land, for those people who don't have acreage or the ability to raise animals, you can still homestead. When we homestead, when we live this lifestyle, we're eliminating certain things. We're eliminating reliance on a system that is a just-in-time system where food is shipped to where we need it just in time. And it has worked very well for society at large and in general. But we're also seeing that there are some prices to be paid as far as antibiotic resistance due to farming large numbers of animals together. We see that there's a problem with vegetables sometimes being contaminated due to dirty water that is run off from a place nearby where cattle are being raised very close together or in close quarters. There are diseases that can arise within a large number of animals living together, and many animals have to be culled or taken away to prevent the spread of a disease, and this can dramatically affect the price of produce or meat at the grocery store in a very short period of time. So homesteading is about trying to combat the cons or the parts of our system that we suffer from. So when you homestead, one of the things that you can do is try to eliminate something from your grocery list. That's one way to start. Or you can try and eliminate a certain number of things from your grocery list over the course of a year. Or you can try to eliminate the use of something that isn't natural. Now this is easy to do. In some cases, you can grow only a little bit. You might not have a lot of space, but you could grow microgreens or fresh herbs in your kitchen counter, that sort of thing. And that's a good place to start. You might not have space, but it's easy to do. You don't create a lot of waste. And you know, if you used to get lunch and it was a salad on Thursdays from the cafe at the ground floor of the building you work in, well, growing some microgreens and some radishes or something, some fresh herbs in your kitchen window, and once a week, instead of buying the salad from the cafe, you could bring it in. You grew it yourself. You know that it's safe. You know that it wasn't sprayed with contaminated water. You know that it wasn't shipped over a long distance, creating a carbon footprint. You can eliminate anything, and you're homesteading. You're doing it. Maybe you have a balcony or a backyard, and you can grow something there. You could grow a grouping of things, or maybe you can grow one thing, and you can convince your neighbor to grow one thing, and at the end of the year you can trade your crops, or you can trade the outcome or what you make. We have a lot of sauce that we made this year of tomatoes. We grew a lot of tomatoes, and we aren't going to need to get anything from the store related to tomatoes. And we've given some of that to friends and family who have traded other things to us. Things such as as jams and jellies, relish, pickled onions. These things were made by other people who were doing something similar to us, and we were able to trade with them. So even if you only have space to grow, 5 or 6 tomato plants and take really good care of them, and you're going to have a ton of tomatoes, make a bunch of sauce and trade that with your neighbor who might have had zucchinis, and you can make zucchini bread or zucchini relish out of that. And now you have 2 things that you can keep in your pantry. And even if you're already doing that and you want to do more, you can go out and gather, and you can forage. If you live anywhere near a park or someplace where the public is allowed to walk and interact with nature, and you have permission, you can gather other things that work out well for you. One example is, here we have herbs. This is hops that has been dried out and can be used for a number of different things. There's also fungus. This is lion's mane mushroom that has been dried out, and it can be used as a medicine in some cases, and it can be used as a food, and it's very tasty and edible. And this is something that you don't have to put any effort into except going for a walk in the fall. Just plan to go for a walk in the fall and know what you're looking for, and you could gather food that you can bring home and store for use later, and you're homesteading. You're doing it. You don't need to have a big fancy setup. You don't have to have all sorts of special lights in a partial indoor-outdoor system, or fields that get tilled up, or no till and you don't till up. Some people have a whole food forest. Some people only have a window box. But if you can find something that you want to have fresh and that you can make or grow or raise in the space that you have, you're doing it. You're doing your part and taking the first steps of that journey to see where you're going. You could grow chives in a window and have fresh chives in dishes that you cook in the kitchen. And I have a friend who is a chef who will tell you that as a chef, getting fresh chives every day in the kitchen is very, very, very difficult. And so something as simple as having herbs in your kitchen window could provide you with luxuries that are normally only found in the highest caliber restaurants. So I hope that you found this video encouraging today, that you stop to think, if you have a larger operation, if you're getting ready to start homesteading and you have a home and you have acreage and you can't wait, make sure to stop and think about what it is you can handle and how much you already have on your plate, because it will grow exponentially. And if you think homesteading is just a pipe dream and it's something that you can't do, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. Like I said, if you can just replace that salad on Thursdays instead of buying it from the cafe, if you can bring it in from home, you're doing it. You're replacing something. You're taking something out of shipping. You're taking something out of the mass market. You're replacing part of a monocultured crop somewhere. So you can participate no matter what you have available to you. And I hope that you go out and you give it a try and you absolutely love it. Leave some comments. Let us know what you're going to do. And over time, send us pictures, send us videos. Let us know what you're doing on your homestead, or how you're doing your own micro homestead inside of your home. Have a good day.